Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today is part 3 of my custom message box series, where we are building a bigger and better message box. Of course, since this is part 3, make sure you go watch parts 1 and 2 before watching this one. Also, we're going to get into some deep coding today, so go make sure you watch my arrays video. We're going to be using arrays. And go watch my video on the split function. We're going to use the split function to take our list of arguments and split them into multiple pieces and put those multiple pieces into arrays. Multiple arrays, actually. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just go watch these videos and then come on back. All right, so in the last lesson, whatever you want to call it, we learned how to send data into the form using the openargs, but that's only one bit of data. I need to send a bunch of different pieces of data for all the different things I want to change in this box. The background color, the prompt. We don't even have a prompt text box yet, right? Which buttons I want, what the caption is going to be, where the form should be positioned, all those different things. So we're going to send them in name-value pairs. Now, you're probably familiar with name-value pairs, right? And we've worked with them before, right? First name equals Rick. Last name equals Rost, right? Phone equals, phone, come here. Phone equals, right? Okay? These are name-value pairs. Sometimes they're called key-value pairs. Well, all we're going to do is we're going to stick them together, and we're going to put a semicolon between them to delimit them. And then we're going to send this whole thing in as an openargs string, which means you can't send anything in that's got a semicolon in it. All right, big deal. Or an equal sign for that matter. But these are parameters for your message box, so just don't do that. All right, then we're going to take this whole thing, we're going to break this up into an array, actually into multiple arrays. All right, the first array is going to have these individual elements in it. So we're going to split it by the semicolon. So we're going to take that out of there. We're going to take that out of there. Now we've got an array with 3 elements in it, right? Okay, and then inside of each of those elements, we're then going to split it again on that equal sign. So that'll pop out, right? That'll pop out, and then that'll pop out. Now we'll have an array with 3 elements, and then each side of those will have arrays with 2 little elements in them. And then we can take a look at them and say, okay, if this is the property, right? Caption, set it equal to hi there. And so on. You get the point? You see what I'm doing? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. All right, the first thing we need is go to design view. We need a prompt box on here, right? A text box that's got some stuff in it. Now, I'm going to use a label instead of a text box, because a text box, when you click on it, the user can edit it. You get the little blinky cursor thing. I don't want that. I'm going to put a label here, and that label will serve as our prompt area, whatever you want to call it. So, form design, grab a label. Always takes me a split second. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still get them confused. Drop a label, like right about there, wherever you want your prompt to go. Right? I'll just put the word prompt in there. Format it however you want it to look. We're going to make these options later, but for now, let's just make it like dark blue and bold. No, not bold. Dark blue, and let's go maybe 18 point. All right, good size label. And don't forget to give it a good name. We don't want to call it label 18 the whole time. Let's call it, let's just call it prompt, right? It's not a reserved word. It's good enough. All right, let's save this and close it. Let's go back to our global module where our function resides. All right, now, last time we just sent hi there, but I want to send the parameters in through the myMessageBox function. All right, so the first thing, let's try to keep these lined up with the actual message box, right? Let's say the first thing is the prompt as a string. And the second thing is going to be the title that goes across. Now, if you remember with MsgBox, if you don't specify a title, you just get Microsoft Access, right? That's one of the things everyone always asks me, how do I get rid of that? Well, you put a title in there. But we're going to make it optional. So the user doesn't have to type it in. They can be lazy and just, do MsgBox prompt like you always do. We're going to say optional title as a string. Now, you don't have to put equals empty string in there. If you don't, by default, you get an equals empty string. So that's up to you. All right, put a couple. I hate working it with when it's on the very bottom of the window. I don't know, it just bothers me for some reason. I always have to have blank lines at the bottom down here. Okay, so we're getting 2 arguments in, right? Prompt and title, and we got to combine them into one thing to send to openargs. So let's throw them both into our own variable. Dim args as a string, and args equals, here's where we build our argument string. Prompt equals, and whatever the user sends in the prompt variable, and a semicolon. Okay? Now, they may or may not send you a title. So I'll say if title is not blank, then args equals args, so add on to it, and title equals whatever's sent in the title, and a semicolon on the end of it. All right, see how that works? And then what we'll do over here is we'll say openargs equals, replace that with just args. All right, throw in a debug compile. All right, now, this is why you want to throw a debug compile in every now and then. Take a look at what we got. The error message there explains it all. Argument not optional, right? We require one of those two arguments to be sent. All right, the prompt is required. See? Prompt as string. Title as string being in brackets means it's not required. So let's just put in here, welcome cadets, or whatever. That's our prompt. And then a title if you want across the top, Starfleet Academy, or whatever you want to say. That'll be your title. Okay, now, before we do anything with the form, let's just take a peek at what we got. Let's go into here, right here. Let's MsgBox args, just to make sure we're building our string properly, right? Regular MsgBox is the developer's best friend, even if you're playing with something advanced like this. Or I like to use my status box thing a lot, but this is fine for now. All right, save it. Yes. Let's come back out here, hit the button. All right, so that's what our args string looks like. Prompt equals welcome cadets, semicolon, title equals Starfleet Academy. All right, good enough. Now, we can get rid of that message box. All right, that was just a test. Now, when the form opens, it's now going to get that whole string. Now we got to parse that string. Here comes the tough part. Let's go back to our form. Here's the form. Let's scrap this stuff that we got here. We're going to start over. All right, leave the move form stuff up there. All right, first we're going to dim args as a variant this time. All right, why a variant? Because we're going to be putting the data into an array. So we're going to use a variant. Then we need a second array to hold each name value pair. So dim name value as another variant. We're going to split it again. And then we need a counter variable to loop through the first array. So dim x as along. Okay. Now this time, instead of just putting me.openargs into the args string, we're going to say args equals split using our split function. That's why I wanted you to watch that other video. Me.openargs, comma, what are we splitting it on? The semicolon. Okay? So as it is right now, args is going to be an array that's got two items in it. It's going to have the caption equals whatever, and the prompt equals whatever, right? The title and the prompt. Okay. Now we're going to loop through all the items in this array, and you can't always rely on how many items you're going to have. So we're going to use L bound and U bound, the lower bound and upper bound limits, so we know where the array starts and where it ends. Sometimes it starts at 0, sometimes it starts at 1. It depends. So this is the proper way to write this. For x equals L bound args to U bound args. So if your array goes from 1 to 10, it's going to go from 1 to 10. If it's 0 to 5, it'll go 0 to 5. Doesn't matter what those numbers are, right? That's how many items are in that array, how many elements are in the array. Okay, and I like to always finish my loop. When I open a loop, I always like to put the end of it down the bottom. And if it helps to visualize this stuff here, I'll put a little comment over here, right? So each element in this array is going to look like, right, caption equals hi there, or whatever. That's one element in that, okay? Now, we're going to take each of those args items and split it again into the name value array. So name value equals split. What are we splitting? We're splitting whatever element of the args array we're on. So args x, right? The loop x1, number 2, number 3, and so on. For each element in that array, we're going to split it on the equal sign, right? Split it on that equal sign. That's going to give us 2 more elements, the caption and the hi there. Okay. So again, each element in here is going to be caption, right? And then we're going to have hi there as a separate one. And this one, if you wanted to stay like that, this other one would be, what is it? Prompt equals whatever. So you'll have 2 different items, right? Okay. The first loop breaks those up. The second loop breaks up each one of these inside of it. So you got 2 separate elements here. You with me? Am I losing anybody? All right, raise your hand if you're lost. I'm just kidding. You can't do that, can you? You can post a comment down below, though. Or best yet, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to my website and post your comments there. Because I got a great group of moderators. They love to help people. And I check YouTube comments maybe a couple times a week if I have a chance. And I answer them maybe once a month. I just don't have the time to do them all myself, guys. But my moderators on the website are fantastic, and they love helping people. All right, now we have to check in here, and this is a weird one, but sometimes it'll come up where you might get a first item without a second item. You might get like a prompt equals whatever if you accidentally send an empty string or something in there. So we just want to make sure we've got both elements. So I'm just going to do a quick check in here to make sure that the name value pair was properly split before we do anything else. So if ubound of name value equals 1. In other words, you got a second item, right? It's 0 and 1. Okay, then, and if. Okay. Now, if we get in here, if we get to this point, now we've got name value 0 and name value 1, which is going to be the name and the value, right? 0 is the name, 1 is the value. And now we can run through, you can either use if then, or you can do a select case, either one. I'm going to use select case because, hey, it's different. It's something else to teach you if you're not too familiar with this. Practice it. All right, so we're going to say select case, name value 0. I want to look at whatever the first item is, the name. And I'm going to say case title. If this happens to be the title, what am I doing? Well, the title is going to be the caption of the form, right? So me, the form, dot caption equals whatever's in the second part, the value part, name value 1. See that? Name value 0 is the name. Name value 1 is the value, title, and the value. Okay. Well, what if name value 0 is prompt? Well, we're going to say prompt dot caption. That's the label prompt. Remember that? Equals name value 1. It's the same thing. Right? Each time this loop goes, it's going to have a different item in it. It'll have the caption, and then it'll have the prompt, or the title, and then the prompt. All right? And I always like to throw in a case else. This should never happen. But just in case, we'll throw up a regular message box and say unknown name value pair, in case you mess up. Remember, your end user is never going to interface with this function. This is completely for you, the developer. Right? Your people aren't going to work with this. You, the programmer, the developer, the access guru, you are going to be the only one feeding this function data. So I'm not putting all the checks in here that I would always put in something that an end user could interface with. They're not going to. They're not going to set up custom message box in the database. You are. So make sure you feed it correctly and test it. All right? And select. So if we did our work correctly, I should be able to send in the openargs string. The openargs string is going to be first split based on that semicolon. So we got this, right? We got this. We got this in the args array, the elements of the args array. Then the args array, it's going to loop through those, and it's going to say, hey, and break them up based on the equal sign. So now we got caption and hi there. All right. All right. And now, whoops, now we should be able to see if it works. Let's save it. Always good to do what? Debug compile. Always throw a debug compile in there. All right. Come back out here, close it. Click the button and look at that. There we go. Isn't that nice? Right? We sent to the function in here, right? In our button. Let's go over here. Let's take a look again in our main menu. Where are we? Main menu. Right? We said, my message box, welcome cadets. Starfleet Academy is the title on the top. The my message box function definition, right? Built the openargs string. Prompt equals that. Title equals that. We sent that as an openargs argument into the form. Where are you at? Where's the form? Come here. There you are. The form then split that openargs apart into its individual components. Again, could we have done it with temp bars or global variables or a table even? I mean, yeah, there's a million ways to do this. But again, I'm teaching you different stuff. I'm teaching you different Legos. You can put them together however you want. This is good stuff to know. Working with arrays definitely is a good skill. Now, you might not wrap your brain around this the first time you run through it. Run through it again. Right? I guarantee you the second or third time you see all this put together. And we're going to do a lot more with this. We're going to add more stuff to it over the next couple of lessons. You'll get it. The light bulb's going to go on. You'll get it. I know the first time I learned this stuff, I was like, what? But yeah. And yes, for some of you geniuses who already know arrays, we could have used a multi-dimensional array, but I don't want to blow people's brains apart too soon. We'll get to that eventually too. All right. All right. You like that? You learned something new? Well, good. I hope you're enjoying it. That's going to do it for part 3, folks. That was a long one. I know that's a 16-minute lesson so far. I couldn't. I tried to split this up into 2, but I couldn't split this into 2, and I'd lose people. You got to keep all that together. So see, sometimes it's going to be a 5-minute lesson. Sometimes it might be a 15, 20-minute lesson, but I do my best. Now, tune in tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel to watch part 4. Let's see, you are watching this on Monday, the 27th of November, 2023. And I should post the other one very soon. Members can watch it right now, but not right now, because I haven't recorded it yet. But members can watch videos as soon as they are posted. You don't have to wait for them to go live on YouTube. But that, my friends, is going to do it for part 3. That's your Tech Help video for today. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free Tech Help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the Tech Help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut Tech Help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any Tech Help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for Tech Help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.